Dr. Goree, the school board has proposed and has now passed the heroes pay. Many are happy about it, but I don't know if you heard Jackie Lansdale was with us earlier this morning. She's not happy and is talking about a day of action and a possible lawsuit, saying that people are left out and it's discriminatory. Can you respond to that first?
Right. Well, first, I did not hear Jackie Lansdale, but really excited that our board did decide to take revenue that, we did not even know we would have at the beginning of the school year, but we've had a favorable sales tax year. And even in a year where there were budgetary restraints, our board has decided to take about $6 million from that, and that's pretty much all of it. And to give it back to our employees. And one thing I'll speak to is that, we are in this business. We're still in the business of educating children. And in the state of Louisiana, it's against the law to do a bonus. So when we talk about an incentive or we talk about a supplement, we think about what are those qualifying characteristics that must be met for a person to receive it. In this conversation this year, and the teachers' organizations were at the table, the conversation came up about we needed people in front of children. We needed people to be in the classrooms, and I do think in that same vein, that's where we decided that not only did we reward our teachers, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, but also our day-to-day and our long-term subs. And we are the only school system in the state that I'm aware of that is also rewarding our long-term subs at the same level as our teachers.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be fair to say that Ms. Lansdale's biggest beef is that some were in, as far as the supplemental, the heroes pay. Some folks were in and some folks were out. When you were having the meetings, you and I'll give you time in a second, I promise. When you guys were putting the plan together, somebody at some point had to say, well, we're leaving some people out. That could cause a problem. Did that come up at all? That couldn't have been easy.
So whenever you said a qualifying, said qualifying stipulations, or whenever you said those things, for in this example, a 90% attendance, or saying that if you were a teacher, 172-day teacher, you would have had to have only missed 17. You could not miss more than 17 days. That was what we set as the qualifier for the supplement. Now, in that respect, there's always going to be someone at that 18th day, but there was a lot of conversation. There was a lot of pushback, especially from principals, that 90% attendance was not good enough and that it needed to be even 95. So we talked about that. That would be the difference of 9 days out versus 17. We tried to pick a day that most folks would not fall into that situation. Now, there's always going to be an anomaly. There's always going to be someone that's going to not qualify for a supplement. We have supplements all over the district. We have supplements to work in hard-to-staff schools. We have supplements tied to evaluations. And there's always going to be someone that's not going to qualify. So I question the validity of that argument, but nevertheless, we're excited that 92% of our teachers, right at 5,000 people, will qualify.
What about a pregnant woman who's on maternity leave? Or somebody that's on disability. I mean, she was really upset about that.
Is that just the role of the biological dice?
So let's say you are a pregnant person and you are working at a hard-to-staff school, and one of the qualifiers for a payout is an evaluation, but you're not there to get the evaluation. You don't get the supplement. Now, you get your full salary, and you get to take advantage of the beautiful, rich benefits that we offer as a school system, and they are rich and beautiful. And in both those situations, you get that advantage. Nothing is taken away from you. You just would not qualify for the supplement. The supplement is just that. It's tied to 90% attendance missing, meaning a teacher could miss 17 days and still qualify. But nothing will be taken from you, and we respect, and I truly respect everyone, especially beautiful mothers, as well as the fathers. We have just as many fathers in this season that take time, the 6 weeks off with the babies, too. Well, not just as many, but we do have those examples, too. So I have great respect for all of them, and I'm so happy we provide that rich benefit so that they can do that.
Doc, was the final decision on who does and who doesn't get that supplemental pay? Was it a financial decision, or was it more along the lines of I can't think of the right word?
You were in the trenches doing what we were doing with us.
Exactly.
So a part of that conversation would go to the fact that this is surplus. I think this is a great time to make a point, because there's been a lot of conversation that we received $66 million in stimulus dollars. Let me be very clear. Federal law is very clear as to what that money can be spent on. And we know, as most people do, it cannot be spent on supplements for teachers. So these are local tax dollars. Now, there is a dollar amount that we had available that we were working within the constraints of. Now, in that respect, too, there was a lot of conversation around, do we give bus drivers,
Uh-oh, we lost your phone.
administrators anything? There's been a lot of conversation.
Uh-oh.
You lost me?
You're back now.
Yeah,
Am I
Don,
there?
please repeat yourself. Your phone dropped out a couple of times. If you could rewind about 15 seconds and repeat,
You're in the
please.
Shreveport Tunnel, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so. So as I spoke to that, I was talking about, there's been a lot of, first off, I clarified that there's been a lot of talk about us receiving $66 million in stimulus dollars. And I think we're all aware that federal law is clear. That money cannot be used for teacher supplements. Now, at the same time, these are local tax dollars, and these are excess tax dollars that we have received in sales tax. We looked at that dollar amount, and the question was, how much can we give? What's the most we can give? I think it's important to know that we're not treating a teacher any different from a bus driver, any different from a sub. It's a flat $1,000. Now, there's been a lot of people, too. I know Red River United has gone on record saying it's not enough. But, again, we did the very best we could with what we had to spend. And, we gave everyone the same across the board. And I think so is it all? It's always going to go back to having a certain dollar amount. But at the end of the day, regardless, there's going to be some stipulations placed on a supplement, and everyone just may not qualify.
What do you say to those teachers that Jackie refers to who say they voted to take a day or days of action, which could be a walkout, could be a strike, any number of things? What is your message to them today?
I just remind them to remember why we do this work. We do this work for children, and to ask themselves, is that day of action, whatever that may be, what's best for children, and to follow their conscience.
Miss Jackie also referred to you and the school board as misogynists. Any remark, any comment on that?
I have no comment for Jackie Lansdale.